to ride in Moto3 with the Bostascura, so I think that's taken the pressure off him. So real wild card to watch, number 58.
We were just looking at Max Keeles, who goes from third row. We always see him move forward. All eyes are on him for a MotoGP career. But behind him sits Marco Morelli, and Nats News is with him.
Well, Marco, you've had a really positive weekend here on Phillip Island. Tell us how you're feeling about this race.
Yeah, it was overall it's going well this weekend. We did a step from last weekend in Indonesia. Of course, yesterday being Q2 was really positive, taking a lot of experience, and yeah, we qualified P12, so it's nice. Let's see today, because the wind is very. It will be very tricky conditions, but yeah, I will try to do my best, and if I have the possibility to learn from the front riders, will be.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Marco Morelli there, one of MLab's boys. Brilliant qualifying from him in 12th. Eddie O'Shea is in 20th, but has looked far better than... maybe out of place, 14th, Angel Piqueras this weekend.
Yeah, straight on Piqueras. We've seen him sometimes qualifying not too good and work his way forward. Obviously, super fast, super aggressive, which you're going to need to be around here by qualifying 14th. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up at the end of the first lap. Like, he's one of those riders who can normally pass 5 or 6 riders, so keep your eye out for Piqueras. It'll be entertaining.
Just want to flick it.
Just going to introduce again, so I'm getting that I can't be heard because TNT was on. Currently on a different... I'm currently on the larger mic rather than the headset, so please tell me if it is working. It should be, but I can see the mic working right now, to be honest. So I'll introduce the show again, just in case. This is a Moto3 Grand Prix here in Australia. It's looking lovely out, actually. And I am hosting and producing this. I am Megan Birch. Joshua will be taking the Moto2. It is working, thank you. And it is currently 5 minutes to the start of the race. I shall hand you back over to TNT. I will be covering, well, hosting / producing the Moto3 race, and then I believe Joshua will be doing the Moto2 race in about hour 15. It's a little bit tricky since they decided to move all the times, which honestly I'm not hating that they moved the times. I shall pass you back over to TNT.
155 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour. I mean, it's quick, really quick. And they actually go around turn 1 duels corner faster than the GP bikes. It's a bank corner. They bang it down 2 gears, literally bang it down 2 gears and go straight back on the throttle. So you would not want to be sat on the back of a Moto3 bike tipping into turn 1, trust me. Like, that is some commitment. And with that wind coming then underneath the front of the bike, taking the weight off the front of the bike, which then can push you to the edge of the track. So expect to see mistakes at turn 1. I think that's basically what we're building up for.
I mean, this race is going to be some experience, isn't it, for these young riders?
I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, this wind, it really is exceptional. But this is the man in pole position, home hero, Joel Kelso. He's been brilliant across the weekend. Can he get out there and control this from the front? Let's head over to comms then. Michael Laverty and Gavin Emmett for our first race of the day.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Luca Lunetta there back on the front row alongside our new world champion, Jose Antonio Rueda. And then Australia's very own Joel Kelso, as straight as a die, wasn't he? There, starting from pole for the first time this season. The first Aussie to do so in Moto3. 21 laps ahead of us. Good morning from Phillip Island, a raw, windswept slice of racing perfection. It's the Moto3 Australian Grand Prix. A gusty wind pushing the riders down towards turn 1 and the Bass Straight. But Joel Kelso has managed it so far so well this weekend, giving the home fans something to cheer. First Aussie on a Moto3 pole here at home. Can he back it up in the race? We saw he had Rueda alongside him, the newly crowned world champion. Pressure off for him. Can he ride free? a track that suits his style too. We saw Luca Lunetta on the front row, and then we're just going through, and all these people, Jacob Ralston, we saw him at his gran there, holding the umbrella for him on the grid. He hasn't got a ride for next year, so he'll want a good result. I saw Cormac Buchanan earlier today. He's got a Kiwi on the top of his helmet. He said, oh, I thought it looked cool, and I thought it would wind the Aussies up. I loved it from Cormac, but he's going to get stuck in today. He just saw Eddie O'Shea and Scott Ogden as well on row 7 of the grid. Even Valentin Peroni on row 8 could get involved, because it feels, Michael, like one of those races where the threat can come from anywhere. In these conditions, the slipstream's affected, gearing hard to judge, crosswinds in corners like this as well underneath you in the southern loop. How is that wind? How much is it going to affect the story of the race?
It's going to affect these little Moto3 bikes quite a lot. Obviously, you get the side wind in this part of the exposed. When you go for the little rise into Stoner Corner, you're exposed the whole way across from the southern loop, once again out of Siberia up through the hay shed, the top of Lukey Heights and into turn 1. They're the significant areas, and obviously you will have a big group with a lot of slipstream, a lot of buffeting going around. I think it'll keep the group together, because of it's a tailwind down the main straight, but the rest of the lap you're fighting into a headwind up the hill. So I think it's going to affect this race quite a lot, and hopefully we don't see anyone getting caught out. We've seen it in the past where they can get pushed onto the grass or just not quite predict how heavy how strong the wind's going to be in certain areas of the racetrack.
Who does it favour? Does it favour anyone? Do you still see a group race?
I do think it's a group race. I think Joel's got the speed along with Rueda to maybe break away, but I think tyre management's going to be a part today in Moto3, so you can't push too hard too soon. You've got to be a little bit patient. Yeah, difficult to say who it favours. Probably
Rueda's been good at that this year, hasn't he? Judging,
controlling, yeah, exactly, controlling his load into the tyre throughout, judging exactly when to move into the front group, and then pushing on from there.
It's corners like this, isn't it? The last couple onto the front straight. Max Keeles has come a cropper on a couple of occasions this weekend, had a big one at the hay shed, and this track will bite. It is a brilliant racetrack. Can Joel Kelso emulate Jack Miller, who starts himself from the front row later on today? Senna Aegis does. It could be Aussies all the way. I wonder if Joel Kelso can finally break his winning duck. Got a great design of his helmet and his boots too. Luca Lunetta lines up in third then. Rueda, the champ, in second. Kelso on pole for Australia. 21 laps ahead of us in Moto3 here at Phillip Island, and the gusting wind could quite literally blow this race wide open. Let's hope that we get a safe race. Moto3 then, at the Australian Grand Prix with Joel Kelso, the home rider, on pole position. Lights go out and we are underway, and a good start from Rueda alongside Kelso. A good one for Furasato as well, down towards turn 1. Remember the wind behind them as they tip down into Duens corner. It's going to be Rueda leading from Furasato in second as Keeles comes through, but Kelso's got a run here, Michael, down towards the southern loop.
Yeah, Kelso rolling around the outside already on Furasato, but it is Rueda who takes charge at the head of the field. Kelso immediately up the inside at southern loop, wasted no time whatsoever for Joel Kelso.
Classic move, isn't it, here at Phillip Island? Run a little bit deeper and then actually drive underneath someone who's gone a bit too deep into the southern loop. And Kelso takes charge at home. So from pole position, just the start he would have wanted. Luca Lunetta trying to recover after he's lost a little bit of ground, but he's under pressure from Max Keeles, who's up into fourth behind Furasato, with Joel Esteban having a good start to the race, replacing Dennis Foggia. He's in fifth.
Esteban's looked good this weekend as a replacement rider in the Aspar livery, but as usual, Keeles making his way forward into turn 4, straight away up into the top 4, not wanting these lead 2 to get away. There are the 2 riders we've talked about all weekend that could make a break in Moto3.
Yeah, just saw David Almanza out the seat coming out of Siberia. He's got a long lap penalty stake for his transgression with Carpe back in Indonesia. Down into turn 10, the old MG corner of old Adrian Fernandez threads the eye of the needle. Wow, how he got that pulled down safely, I don't know, but he did.
Fernandez likes this pace, podium here last year on the Leopard machine. He always goes well at this point in the season, enjoys the flyaway leg, and ultra aggressive here in the opening lap, not wanting to lose touch with these leaders.
So we're having our long lap penalties come up for Almanza and Rossi, which was for slow riding in practice yesterday. At the front, this is what we wanted to see, or at least the Aussie fans did. Joel Kelso gets to the front, and look at that behind him with Furasato and Rueda just having a little bit of a battle there. Exactly what what Kelso needed. Oh, that's wide there from Esteban.
been a good first lap for the other Aussie in the race. Jacob Ralston, he's moved forward up into 8th to, I think he got through in Carpe there into the Southern Loop.
7th now.
7th. That's an impressive one from, where was he, 13th on the grid?
Yeah,
Ralston?
must have been his gran holding the brolly for him. That'll give him a boost. He's riding for his life, riding for his career, and that was a superb move to take 2 up to Miller's hairpin.
Yeah, down the inside of Lunetta. Now he's attacking onto the rear wheel of Furusato. Yeah, that's been an impressive opening 2 laps, or lap and a half for Ralston. He's obviously, as you mentioned, he's got a ride, or not got a ride for next year, so hanging in the balance is a career, and he's trying to show what he's capable of.
Got his best result last time out in Indonesia, and now he makes a move up Luki Heights, does he? No, just in the back of the group there behind Tayo Furusato. We're at the front. This is what Neil Hodgson said before. Exactly what Joel Kelso, if he could have dreamt about what was going to happen in this race, it's happening right now as Jacob Ralston goes up into the top 5.
Yeah, an impressive overtake down into MG, but it looks like the lead 2 are making a bit of a break. Yes, wow, into the final turn 12, decisive. He knows he's got to really work hard, use his tyre. Ralston into 4th.
Yeah, he turned beautifully there because Fernandez had sort of pushed Quiles. Oh, look at this, but Quiles weaved twice there. He's had a form for that in the past, hasn't he, Quiles? Oh, and Ralston, the meat and the sandwich between Quiles and Furusato, it's a little bit sketchy down into Duels, and Ralston is firm on Quiles and goes up into 4th place. He's the fastest rider on track at the moment.
It does look like the wind's affecting these riders in the braking area to turn 1. I know that Quiles was in full control of where his bike was going to go, the trajectory, he was adjusting his body, so yeah, the bigger riders like Ralston perhaps and Quiles able to manhandle these little Moto3 machines.
Keeping my eye further back, your man Marco Morelli's up into 11th place. Brian Uriarte, who's the new rookies champion, in for David Munoz after his broken leg in Indonesia. He's up into 12th. What a debut race for Uriarte.
We know Uriarte's talent. We've watched him in the Red Bull Rookies Cup in Junior GP. He has signed for AO next year, and these fill-in rides at Impact GP give him an opportunity to show in these latter races of the season what he's capable of.
It's sort of what we expected. The 2 riders that just have the smoothest style of anyone out there, Kelso and Rueda, are out at the front. The gap behind them, 0.9. And whereas in the past, we'd say, OK, well, this group, Slipstream, it will bring them back to them. I'm not quite sure with this tailwind, Michael.
No, big tailwind down the front straight, and obviously the pace that Kelso and Rueda have had this season, this weekend, they are, as you mentioned, probably the smoothest riders out there, so typically they manage tyre consumption quite well. Everyone on the hard rear tyre here today, so it is a factor in Moto3, not something we often talk about tyre drop-off, but we will see a little bit here across this race.
We heard from Alvaro Carpe on the grid about how much he loves this racetrack. He's just at the fastest lap. He's in 7th place. To the back of the chasing pack, who are 1.2 seconds behind the rider on board with. We are with the new world champion, Jose Antonio Rueda, looking at the rear of Joel Kelso, who looks, Michael, so neat and tidy on that bike.
Yeah, silky smooth. It's good to watch someone just in their flow around Phillip Island, because it's a racetrack that does benefit the fast corner speed, the way Joel likes to ride, natural flowing lines. This is perfect for him getting to the head of the race, controlling the pace, and at the moment only got Rueda to fight with.
In this situation now for Rueda, sit tight now, let Joel do the donkey work.
Yeah, got a yellow flag in sector 2.
Oh, I think it's Ralston. I think it might be Jacob Ralston in Siberia. Oh, he was having such a good ride. You can see Carpe's got up into 4th. Ralston has crashed out.
It's heartbreaking.
At Siberia, look at the frustration. Had such a good start to the race, but his enthusiasm getting the better of him as we see a collision between Furusato and Quiles. Tayo, I'm sorry to say, that was going to be marked next to you, and Quiles will serve you that back with interest, I am sure of it.
100% interest, yeah. With Tayo Furusato, he likes to be aggressive as well.
Oh, big moment there for Piqueras, and he's right out. That's what can happen. Touched the throttle a little bit too early, and that's Piqueras, his chance of victory surely gone. Somehow he brings it round on the grass, and he'll rejoin towards the back of the field.
Yeah, he's back on track, and yeah, will be pretty much very dead last, I believe. No, he's 23rd as he crossed the line, but yeah, that's cost him a big chunk of time.
Yeah, and that's just that final corner, isn't it, Michael? You tap that throttle on a touch early. Maybe you get, I don't know, you get pulled along in a slipstream, because there's slipstream all over the place for Moto3. Just anything, the wind and it picks you up, and you're a passenger then.
Just looking at the gap from second place Rueda back to Fernandez, 2.3 seconds now. That's a significant margin on that lap. The 2 leaders set their personal bests, and it was almost or over a second quicker than the chase group. So they are going to get away and duel this out on the last laps of the race.
Yeah, I feel like that's just in the battle, just getting it wrong completely there. Fernandez lost a lot of time on that last lap. I'm guessing he had a moment. The conditions, Michael, we hasten to add, if anyone's just joining us, are really, really tough for the Moto3 riders.
Yeah, the gusts of wind certainly upsetting these little bikes. Not easy. The pace is still quite fast in the 35-second range, but we've seen a lot of laps in the 34 bracket this weekend.
Michael, Kelso and Rueda are 1.2 seconds quicker than the chasing group.
It is exceptional. I thought Joel could do this, and he knew that Rueda could probably stay with him. But yeah, this is where Rueda's... He's always got that ability to control a race. He doesn't go to the front. He just pulls out of the slipstream, gets a bit of wind there, so he doesn't go past Joel at this moment in the race. He let him do the work, use his tyre. He's a clever campaigner, Rueda, and he's a world champion for a reason.
At what point do Kelso's team let him know that maybe have a think about this? It's a battle of 2 here, so just have a look at maybe at your rival. Do they send that information to him at any point?
Yeah, obviously you get the signal from your team, and you can have it on the dash and as well by the tip board, but they will give him the signal. It's a group of 2, that the rider with him is Rueda, and then a plus back to the chase group behind, so he'll know that it's just this this duel he has to deal with Rueda, and yeah, he'll know how to control the race from there.
Good would it be to see an Australian victor here at Phillip Island? This is tough stuff from Lunetta through the A-shed. It's going to go a little bit deep on there, but there'll be no way back through for Furusato. A rare old battle going on. This was the previous move. Actually, Furusato was there, wasn't it? It was a move that was done. Quiles kind of turning as well. Just both on the same patch of racetrack. Nothing doing there. Just a perfectly good move.
Yeah, Furusato's not shy to dish it out as well. He's aggressive, he's feisty. But doing it on Quiles, you're going to get it back with interest. It's it's a tough game to play with. Maximo.
So Rueda pulling out of the slipstream of Kelso, and now decides to hit the front. So Kelso knows now he's got company.
Wonder will he take a little look around just to see how big the gap is to the chase pack. But I'm surprised that he's gone to the head of the field here. Rueda, last lap around, they were still 35.6, lapping 0.7 of a second faster than the chase group. So they're still lapping fast, but Rueda's decided he's going to go to the front maybe and control the speed of the front boys.
Maybe he thinks he's got more here. Let's bear in mind, you know, in qualifying they were 1.5 seconds quicker. Now, I know it's qualifying, and I know you have to think the long game here, but maybe he's got a different delta. Maybe, you know, he's got a lap time that he thinks he can hit, and they haven't quite been getting it. I mean, no one else is anywhere near the lap times these 2 are running.
No, as you mentioned, able to lap in the 34s yesterday in qualifying, and perhaps he thinks he can roll, and he looks like this lap he's rolling a little bit smoother than Kelso perhaps, so he can up the ante even further.
Kelso just needs to keep him in check. Keep his tyre in check, though, is the key part of it. Good little battle going on there, isn't it, between Lunetta? Oh, here we go. There's the interest.
There we go. Same corner. Quiles pays it back on Furusato.
We're back at turn 10. Quiles up into 6th place. This is the battle for 3rd. Carpe in it. It's good to see him able to scrap in the front group. Too many of those in recent weeks. And then behind Fernandez, Lunetta, Furusato and Quiles there. Joel Esteban standing in for Dennis Podge, having a really good ride.
Makes his way through on his teammate, not quite. Quiles around the outside, leans it in over the top of Esteban into turn 1. Yeah, you can see how the wind's affecting them in the middle of turn 1 there.
So it's coming underneath from the right-hand side when they're tipping down into Doohan's corner. Just so you know, it'll be lifting up that front. There's Scott Ogden.
Eddie O'Shea just in behind. They're dicing with the rookie rider, Brian Uriarte, in the... there's a split group. Actually, you can see Almanza trying to get across to Marco Morelli at the back of this pack, but yeah, it's been the penalty's been already delivered from Almanza. He's getting his head down, the fastest man on Friday. Perhaps he can get across to the group.
Yeah, Morelli just at the back of that group, having a look behind, having an excellent ride inside the top 10. Just shows, doesn't it? You know, he's obviously turned up today and up for it, and tagged onto the front group. Oh! And then at this racetrack, if you're in that group, you do get dragged along.
Yeah, because of the slipstream. It's I think for Marco, he's been ahead of Bertelli and in this fight, but he just dropped to the back of the group. He should be able to hang there. He's got good pace. Usually manages his tyres really well, so good to see Marco inside the top 10 on his first visit to the island.
And then further back, there is Almanza. He's had his long lap penalty, and he's trying to get back on. He has had good pace all weekend, so maybe he's still not out of the shot at the podium. Behind him, Cormac Buchanan having a good ride. The Kiwi doing excellently. He was 12th across the line. He's just dropped behind Nepper at the moment, who's a good rider here in Phillip Island. And then Ogden and O'Shea both in the points.
Yeah, it's been a good move forward in the race for both Scott and Eddie O'Shea, ahead of Uriarty now at this point. Peroni having a bit of a difficult weekend down there in 17th.
It's like he's not got on with this place. Yeah, at any point he got stuck in Q1, mired there, never got through. We've got a change in our third place rider. Carpe's had to give it up through Stoner Corner. Quiles trying to muscle past. To dad. His sister and his mum there. He had a good first couple of laps.
Yeah, can't fault the effort.
Yeah, and then obviously, we didn't see the crash. Don't know whether he was got tangled or anything. But unfortunately, early bath time, and lick your wounds and try and carry that positive energy forward. Showed again, he's got the pace to be in the front group. Look at Joel Esteban here, for example. That's what he needs to look at. Joel dumped really out of the championship, wasn't he?
Yeah.
This year.
He's been the replacement rider on a number of occasions this season, but this is the best we've seen him of Esteban all season long.
He's the number 78 there, just behind Quiles, his teammate. And yeah, stood in a couple of times, a few different teams actually. Rides back with the Aspar team now in Junior GP. He's done okay this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's not been as strong in Junior GP as I expected. There is a slight difference in the model of the bike, but the KTMs, essentially, he runs the older version in Junior GP and now stepping onto the latest KTM available here. This weekend, it seems to work for him. Oh, that's a late one. Into turn one for Quiles on Furasado.
Kelso's just matched Rueda. Step for step, lap for lap.
Yeah, this is good for Joel. I expected Rueda to do what Joel's doing on him. He's just dropping it behind, letting Jose Antonio do the work, and perhaps use a little bit more rear tyre. They are hard front, hard rear on the KTM machines. All the Hondas going for the soft front tyre option here in the chase group. But yeah, the entire grid on the harder option rear, so that will drop off a little bit towards the latter stages of this race.
Not quite even at half race distance yet. Esteban again on a wider line, holds it on in the left-hander then in front of Furasato. This is the battle for third. 31 is Fernandez, of course, ahead of 83 of Carpe. And then Luca Lunetta there, two Aspar riders. Quiles and Esteban.
About to join this group. He's worked well. Mark Morelli's in a bad couple of laps, just lost a little bit of contact. He'll be losing the draft now, but Almanza could bring him back across here.
One of the other things I'm intrigued is about gearing as well, because that's another thing that it's hard to judge. I know you're limited with the options that you've got, but then you've not had a warm-up this morning, so trying to judge, you know, how you get that set up for the front straight can't be easy.
No, it is difficult in Moto3, and you always have to be aware of the wind change and then try and adjust your gear, and sometimes even the internal gearbox accordingly. So maybe go for a taller sixth when you've got a big tailwind down the front straight, so you're not catching too much limiter action into turn one.
Little twitch from both Fernandez and Carpe in the hairpin. Really good scrap this one, it could go any way. As you say, Almanza has just got through on Morelli for 10th. He's got a second to make up on this group, but having done a long lap penalty, he's having a good ride.
Yeah, working hard. He may be working his tyres a little too hard to get across, but he has had pace all weekend. He's had a couple of crashes as well that Obviously knocked his momentum on Friday, but yeah, it looked good all weekend here on the Leopard machine.
Top left of your picture, still your leaders. Rueda from Kelso. World champion versus Australian at the Australian Grand Prix. Kelso come up with a plan, conjure something to keep the world champion in check. Across the line, the gap just at a quarter of a second. Nothing dramatic yet, but the one mistake could blow this race open, like the wind that's gusting through it.
Yeah, it looks like at the moment they're able to lap in the 35s, the 2 leaders. Everyone else in the race has been pretty much 36s throughout.
Deep there from Fernandez, and that's the wind pushing you, isn't it? Blowing you wide. Why can they be so much quicker then? The two at the front, does that mean they're using up more tyre, or is it just the way they've had it rolling? Is it just their style? Is it just them suiting it?
I believe it's just the natural riding style of Joel Kelso. We know he likes to be fast and smooth. When we've witnessed Rueda control this impressive from Quiles down the inside of turn 4. But yeah, when you watch Rueda ride, how he controls his rhythm throughout the race, he's very good at controlling the pace. So yeah, it's a racetrack that suits their natural riding style, just keeping the momentum up through all these fast-flowing corners.
Just on this lap, Rueda, look top left, he's just starting to eke a slight gap here on Kelso. You can look after your tyres so much, can't you? We are just past the halfway point of this race. That was where it got tight with Quiles into the hairpin. But there comes a point, doesn't there, Michael, where you have to sacrifice looking after your tyres and make sure you stay in it.
Yeah, the halfway stage now, and that's obviously one marker that the riders will be wary of. Then you get to 2/3 distance and perhaps you up the ante a little bit, use a bit more tyre.
You know, I think Kelso's just done that. It got out to half a second then, and just look at him into turn 1 now, and he's got right back on the rear of Rueda.
The little picture on the top
yeah,
left of the screen,
I know there's a battle going on. I know that's what our director, it's not our director who's in charge of it, but you know, it's just there is something going on at the front. So I have to say, I have been looking at the top left of the picture. So everything, all this chaos that's going on in the battle for 3rd place is great, but you know, we're trying to decide who's going to be winning here today.
I've got a good feeling for Kelso at the moment, but obviously Rueda's a tough one to best over the race distance, very good at managing it. But just witnessing his roll speed through the fast turn 1, it's possible for Joel to make back any advantage that Rueda has.
Well, this is Messi into Siberia, Carpe, Lunetta and Esteban. Quiles has hit the front, trying to push on the pace of this chase pack. There is Almanza, who's got back onto the group. Definitely the quickest of the lot. He did a 35.7. In fact, he's the only one with the pace to match the leaders. Remember, Almanza hasn't had a podium this year. He's got to these kind of positions where he's got the pace, and then he's faded in the latter stage. And I just wonder, having done the long lap loop, having been down the order, having had to fight back from, was he down in 18th at some point? How much tyre he's going to have used.
Yeah, it would be nice for him to get a podium finally with the Leopard team. He's off to Intact GP next year. He's worked hard here. He's got rhythm, as you mentioned, in the 35-second range, able to match the leaders.
Get nervous with the weaving on the straight here when, you know, I feel like with the gusting wind, you aren't in control as much. Easy to be just blown that little bit wider, blown off course, blown into someone. We've seen it here in the past.
You've got to be careful weaving on Moto3. They can bump off each other. Oh, a little moment there for Fernandez.
There's been a few of them for Fernandez. But that was, you know, he turned then well out of the southern loop, and then just a little squirrel, as Kevin Schwantz would have called it. Again, top left-hand pitch, you just see Rueda able to pull out in the far part of the circuit. They're already heading through the A-shed and up and over Lukey Heights. The gap is now over 10 seconds between Kelso and this pack.
Looks like Rueda's stronger through Siberia and that section of the racetrack, but Kelso does claw it back in these faster flowing corners at the end of the lap and through turn 1 to turn 2 in the southern loop.
So then it's just about how much tyre are they each using. to do those things as Esteban sits Almanza up. It's all very well making up the ground when you've got clear track in front of you. Then when you're in a pack, trying to pick your way through some of these hard scrappers, not easy. Top left of your picture, just keep an eye on Kelso here in second. Just watch him in turn 1. Oh, no, we're going to see it. Sorry. We're going to see it on big screen. I like it. There we are. Finally get to see. And this is where Kelso, look again.
Very strong.
Eats up the crowd, doesn't he? The ground.
Yeah, he's got the bike turning really well through the fast turn 1 section. His line, his approach, and his ability to get back on the throttle quite early. He looks good. He looks comfortable.
He does. But what we've seen over the last couple of laps here is Rueda, from this point on, from the hairpin, is able to gap him. So can Joel keep it in check so much that he can stay ahead of Rueda? You feel like if Rueda's ahead of him on that last lap, he won't get an opportunity.
No, it's good when you get a chance to look at your rival throughout, know where they're strong, and make a bit of a game plan over the last couple of laps, but that's what Rueda's been very good at doing himself.
6.5 laps remaining in this race. Still, Rueda leads with Kelso in second. There's Matteo Bertelle, Kelso's teammate, at the back of this chasing pack, all hunting third. Fernandez on the inside, Carpe on the outside, over Lukey Heights, down towards turn 10. Esteban on Quiles and up into 6th.
Eddie O'Shea's been having a good race. He's doing lap times similar to this group, and he's just moved up to 13th on this lap.
Yeah,
actually just lost 2 places there with Ogden and Pini.
Yeah, but got ahead of Marco Morelli now, who obviously has the tyre just used it maybe a little bit early on. Look at the front group, top of the picture as well. Again, Kelso gets close in turn 1. This first couple of corners is going to be Kelso's strong suit. It's then whether he can hit the front and hold on to the front on a last lap. Esteban drops right back down the order, having made up positions on that previous lap.
He's not as strong here around Phillip Island as we've seen at some circuits. He's scrapping and fighting for it, but
he is one of those, we see him late braking, don't we? Diving in. Piqueras a bit the same. And yeah, there's a bit of that in this racetrack, isn't there? But you've got to find the flow, haven't you?
Yeah, certainly. It's a racetrack that suits a more natural flowing rider. Quiles is a scrapper, likes it sideways, even for a Moto3 bike on the brakes, and not too much hard braking around this Phillip Island circuit.
It's getting fierce at the back there with Almanza, Esteban and Bertelle. Started knocking lumps out of each other. Just lost touch with the group for a moment. Esteban strung down here. Seen that on a couple of occasions. There's Fernandez in. Oh, another twitch from Fernandez on the brakes. Now, I told you, Esteban down into turn 10. Back in front of Almanza, and again at the front, the gap opens up in that third split. But look at Kelso. He's closing, isn't he? A little bit of slipstream for him. In fact, that's a lovely gap for the slipstream for Kelso. And he gets close now. You can hear the crowd starting to cheer on Kelso. Is there anything that he can do to find a way through? For now, it looks like he's happy to sit there behind Rueda.
Yeah, I think he could have made a move into turn 1 with the draft if he wanted to, but it's too soon to go back to the front. I think he's able to see where Rueda can stretch out a little bit on the Southern Loop exit, likewise at Siberia, but Joel's very good through the fast last turn and turn 1.
Eddie O'Shea up to 12th now. He's got through on Buchanan and Nepper. Scott Ogden rounding out the points. Good rides coming in. Looks like a fun battle anyway, the amount of chopping and changing in position that's going on, with Guido Pini leading that pack.
And a good solid ride from Cormac Buchanan, the Kiwi in there at 12th. Stayed at the front, the pointy end of that chase group throughout this race. So that's one of the best showings we've seen from Cormac in a race for a few rounds now.
He was so up for it this morning. He said, we were talking about the wind, he said, oh, I might go and have a big breakfast. Make myself a little bit heavier on the bike. Family and friends have come over from New Zealand for him. Not in this pack, but in the pack that's chasing it, about 5 seconds behind this group. Carpe's got a little bit of breathing room at the front of this group. at the front, Rueda's got a little bit of breathing room as well as they come down the home straight once more. I start to worry that Joel might not be able to leave it to the last lap here.
Yeah, you can see on the tops of your screen where the advantage is stretching out, but then he can get it back on this part of the lap. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to have to go a little bit earlier than planned.
You know what I'm saying, don't you, Michael?
Yep.
In terms of if he, unfortunately, it would be too much to do if he left it to the penultimate lap to try and say, okay, I'll leave it to the last lap and have a lunge, but he might be that little bit too far away, so maybe he has to adjust his calculations a little bit.
Yeah, Rueda's still lapping in the 35-second range. Joel dropped into the 36s last time around with a 36.2, which has been his slowest lap for quite some time. Whether that is Rueda just up in the ante, or maybe Joel just losing a bit of tyre at this point in the race.
Carpe's started to get a roll on now, with the group trying to tag onto the back of him. Gap is now at half a second between Carpe and Quiles. And Quiles knows, right, we need to quit messing around here. 3/4 of a second it is. Otherwise, Carpe will take the bronze. Still top left of your picture. They are your leaders. Rueda versus Kelso. They're already in the left-handers that bring you onto the start-finish straight. And it looks to me, Michael, that they are corners, it's the accelerating corners where Rueda has the edge,
yeah,
the drive through the fast corners. Kelso looks stronger, braking fast turns, if that makes sense.
Yeah, look at the draft effect here into turn one. And he's back to gears, and he turns very well right here in the middle of the corner, gets it upright and drives across to turn two. Certainly has it well set up on the front end. Joel bobbling into the southern loop. A few bumps,
yeah,
into there.
All the riders have commented on it this weekend. Kelso on the 66. Best result in Grand Prix racing of second. He's had that a couple of times this year. He doesn't want another second. He needs to win his first race. He needs to get the monkey off his back. He needs to win the home Grand Prix in front of the home fans. However, from this point of the racetrack on, when they start to accelerate, when they start to turn the wick up here, Rueda has it rolling beautifully out of here, and he just carries that pace all the way through, out of Siberia, into the right of the hay shed, and all the time opening up a gap on Kelso. Joel's got to think of something quite quickly here if he wants to win his home Grand Prix, or the world champion will be sealing his 10th victory of the season.
Yeah, he's in striking distance this time around. Does he go for it into turn one on the penultimate lap? I would suggest if he gets a little bit closer, it's worth a try all the way around the lap. It just seems like Rueda can eke out a little bit of a gap that doesn't put him in striking distance into MG, for example.
There's Carpe in third, gapping the group behind him who are battling for fourth place. Still top left of your picture, the leaders of this race with 2 laps to go. It's Rueda from Kelso. This is the battle for third, well, the battle for off the podium now for Quiles and the rest. I think we need to switch to see what's going on with Rueda and Kelso, because that's where the winner's trophy is going to be decided, of course.
Carpe's run a good pace the last few laps and got a nice comfortable margin in the last podium spot. There's going to be some work going on this lap from Quiles to try and get across so he can stand in the box today.
I just want to know what Kelso's going to do. If he wants to win this race, he's got to come up with something and come up with it quickly, because he just can't get close enough to Jose Antonio Rueda, your new world champion, who just has a wider line to then drive out of Siberia. This is Quiles and Esteban actually going through on Fernandez. It's a battle for 5th. It's a great battle. I love to see it.
You want to see the duel up front?
I want to see the duel up front. I want to see who's going to win this race rather than who's going to finish in 5th.
Lukey heads for the penultimate time. Joel's got to be a little bit closer if he wants to draft down into turn one.
Yeah, we're watching the top left, the little picture in your top left, because we're just about to come on to our final lap of the race. They are in the final couple of corners. I don't think Joel's going to be close enough here. I think Rueda has ridden and judged a superb race. Can't take anything away from him.
No, I want to see his lap time here as he crosses the line. Joel's too far back. He's going to get the draft, get back onto the rear wheel into turn one, And then he's got to get creative. He's got to find a way through somewhere on this lap.
He's got to make a lunge somewhere. He's not close enough. Yes, he can eat up the ground in turn 1, but I think on that previous lap that Rueda might just have broken Kelso's resolve, because he's not going to be close enough. He needs to take risks now, Joel Kelso. Yes, a home podium's great, and he's actually turning nicely there through the southern loop. He's turned well. Can he eat up any more ground to Rueda? This is the kind of performance, though, we have seen from Rueda all season.
Quiles set his personal best lap last time around with a 35.8, and he's almost got to the rear wheel of Carpe. Likewise, Rueda, he was back to a 35.7 last time. It's impressive to keep their tyres under them all the way to the end of this race.
This is the battle for third place between Alvaro Carpe and Max Quiles. At the front, Rueda looks to have broken Kelso. The gap through our timing screens, the only way I can see what's going on at the front is 0.6 of a second between the new world champion and the home hero, Joel Kelso.
Yeah, I think Rueda's just upped the ante through the middle part of the lap. He's took Kelso out of striking distance. And this battle for the last position in the podium going to go down to this MG corner.
Yeah, there'll probably be a run to the line now for third place. It's been raging all the way through. Joel Esteban wants to go. Here he is coming through on Quiles. He fancies a piece of the podium. At the front, though, it's going to be Jose Antonio Rueda, who has done the business. He wins for the 10th time this year and puts the seal on his new world champion's crown. Joel Kelso takes a brilliant home podium for Australia. Who's going to join them on the box, though? Could it be Joel Esteban? How many runs to the line have we seen here over the years? But Alvaro Carpe is strong, he is brave, and he takes third place. Good to see Carpe back on the podium for the first time since Mugello. Esteban as a stand-in rider in fourth, excellent. Quiles fifth. Adrian Fernandez is sixth. Piqueras ran out early on, and he's not going to score any points. Eddie O'Shea's just pipped to the points at the end of the race by Stefano Neppa. Scott Ogden scored a couple. Cormac Buchanan got 5 points, but you have to take your hat off to Jose Antonio Rueda, Michael.
Yeah, 35.5 last lap around. That's an impressive lap time. Likewise for Esteban, 35.3, his personal best. They were moving, but the control, the resolve, Rueda once again delivers.
Jose Antonio Rueda's team celebrate. The IO team have got a 1 and 3 today. Sandwiched between them, Australia's Joel Kelso. But that's why he's the world champion. Dominated that race in the end. Jose Antonio Rueda is your race winner in Australia. All the reaction after the break.
Right. So I think I'd have to wait for the podium to actually start. So there's a little bit of a break. That was an interesting race. Not too many out from what I was seeing. And I think, since this is the first race of today, I think it gives the impression that the Moto2 and the MotoGP races that will happen over the next few hours won't be as intense as some people might think. But then again, I'm probably gonna, in about 3 hours, maybe 2.5, get told by Joshua, oh my god, the Moto2 was intense, because I've just probably done the commentator's curse and he's probably going to have like a red. I hope not, though, for your sake, Joshua, if you're listening back to this. So the ad break hopefully will end soon. I don't know why they put an ad break between the podium and interviews and something else, and I'm seeing right now an advert that involves Carlos Sainz. Wrong sport, Carlos. But that was an interesting race, and it's the top 3 all have like orange liveries, and I quite like that. Hold on, I'm just gonna see what teams you're a part of, because I'm pretty sure 2 of them are a part of the same team. Yeah, 2 of them are actually all 3 of them are KTMs. So it's a really good day for KTMs. I could have sworn last time that I saw someone in 4th position up on the podium, which I don't know whether they do that here, but I could have sworn it happened. I don't know whether that was like a championship thing, though. I think it's only 3, but I don't know. Either way, if it was for the top 4, the top 4 are KTMs. Actually, no, I think the top 5 are all KTMs. It's a really good day for them. So maybe we should look out for that in the Moto2 and MotoGP race as well. Hopefully they'll be coming back from the break about now. So me doing filler content will now end, and I shall pass you back over to TNT.
One of those Moto3 races, a bit like a chess match. It was all the rage between Jose Antonio Rueda and Joel Kelso. The Australian kept him honest throughout, but the world champion came good in the end. Joel getting a rousing reception, though, from the crowd as he comes down pit lane. Not to be that he takes his first Grand Prix victory today, but his 4th podium of the season. In fact, Michael, though, one thing is, it takes him within striking distance of Munoz in 4th in the championship.
Yeah, solid.
Behind now.
Gets a few points back on the chaseman Carpe, who's only 6 points behind him today. But yeah, it's a good performance from Joel. He will be a little bit disappointed not to have been able to put a challenge on the final lap to this man, Jose Antonio Rueda, but he was just a little too good out there.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? And judged it well. We wondered whether he might have gone too early, given Joel a sighter. Look at Joel sent up into a bit of crowd surfing with his team. Little lad, big heart, Joel Kelso. But Rueda, class act, no doubt about it.
Yeah, 100%. He controlled it very well indeed, and obviously broke a few Australian hearts here today, ours included. Obviously, we're a little bit obviously a little biased towards the home rider, want to see a victory today. Yeah. The first one will come eventually, but I thought with the speed he had here, it was going to be today.
Too good at saving time,
You're good at saving tire, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we have talked about Rueda's ability to control the race and manage his tires so often this season.
10 wins to go along with some huge names in the sport. Fausto Gresini, Valentino Rossi, of course, Marquez, Juan Mir, and David Alonso last year. He did 14. It's his 10th win. Of course, in 19 races now for Rueda, but take nothing away from him, because that is also his 14th podium. The nearest rival, Piqueras, right, only has 5 podiums this year.
It's been a weird season for Piqueras.
4 wins.
Yeah, when he's delivered, he's been on song, but a little up and down. He did come back through the pack after running onto the grass here today. Not quite close enough to get the points, but yeah, still runner-up in the title race. Just like the 2 AO boys, Aki and Nicky in the background. They're Team World Champions this season.
Yeah, that's obviously been confirmed today ahead of the MSI MT Helmet Squad. Right, let's hear from Alvaro Carpe. Good to see him back on the podium for the first time since mid-channel.
Alvaro, it's been a difficult period, but to get back onto the podium after 10 Grand Prix and do it in a battle like that, just how much does this mean?
Yeah, I'm very happy for this because finally I'm back on the podium on the front group, and yeah, I'm very happy because of this podium on this circuit that I love this circuit. I enjoy every corner. I enjoy because it's a fantastic circuit. I like too much this track. Also, many fans here. Thank you all for come to the track to cheer. But yeah, about the race, I'm very happy because was very difficult with the battle with Quiles and Fernandez. They both was battling me very hard, and they didn't let me to do my pace. But when they give me like a few meters, I push at 100%, giving all my pace, giving my 100% on the track. Very happy because we work very well with all the team, with my crew chief, with all the teams. I have to say thanks to all of them because they in all the races that I didn't in the front group. they believe in me, they push me, and this is, I think, experience for the next year. Thank you for all the team, for all my family that they are. They wake up to see me, and all my friends, all the people who support me. Thank you too much. I hope to be more on the podium.
Great ride, well done.
Thank you.
Talked about the podium, we're not going to have time for it after that interview.
Full debrief there from Alvaro Carpe. Look at the rear tyre there on the left side, quite well marked up on Carpe's machine.
And that's going to be something, look at the front tyre as well for Osati. So another thing to take into account here is the front tyre, isn't it?
Yeah.
At this circuit. And Moto2, it will be an important factor in who wins today.
Left side of all those tyres, front and rear, quite well marked. Something we will talk about throughout Moto2 and MotoGP coming up this afternoon. No mention of the wind, though.
No. Actually, let's hear from Joel Kelso. Equal best result today. Second place at home.
Joel, you gave it absolutely everything today, and you've put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces here at Phillip Island. Just how close was that victory? What are your emotions like at the end of it all?
Fire, mate. I tried my absolute best. I squeezed everything I could out of it. I was saving the tyre as much as possible. As soon as Raider wanted to go in front, I said, go for it, mate. I'm going to try to save the tyre. But he's too good, mate. Fucking hell. Yeah, I can't do it. He's just saving the tyre. He's so good at it. And the last lap, he did like 5.7 or something, 5.6. And I didn't have any of that. I had 5.90 me. And that was a bit. I tried to pull it through for the Aussie crowd, but well, best we could do today was second. But I just want to thank everyone once again for coming out and supporting me. It's so cool to see all my merchandise, everyone, all the Aussie flags out there cheering me on. And yeah, let's enjoy Sunday night then.
So much to be proud of. Well done, Joel.
Cheers, hey, mate.
I'm sure you will enjoy it. Apologies for Joel's agricultural language, shall we say, in the early part of that interview, but you can understand here at home after one of the best races of his life. And as he said there, Michael, took his hat off to Rueda, just too good.
Yeah, once again, he controlled his tyres better than everyone else and was able to have something in the last lap to get back down into the mid-35s in the end. It was impressive.
If you're in Joel's situation there, do you take any comfort, any shred of comfort in the fact you're 11 seconds clear of the rest? I don't know. Let's hear from the new world champion who's won again today.
Jose Antonio, that's victory number 10 for 2025. Joel just said you were simply too good. How do you keep on doing it?
Yeah, well, this track is amazing. I enjoy every lap. It's simply lovely, and yeah, I want to say thanks for the team for the work all the weekend, and also congratulations for my teammate Carpe, because I'm very happy to him. I'm very proud to be again both in the podium. So yeah, we need to enjoy today with everybody, because also we are team world champions. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I want to enjoy with all team and all of that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, he described it as simply lovely, a little bit Max Verstappen-esque there, and that's how he's behaving on track, really. The true champion that he is. Joel calling him too good today. He was sublime out there.
Yep, that is how you win a race. He just let it come to him. They broke away. He sat behind Joel, had a good look at him and thought, I reckon I can up the pace, I can control the race, and that's what he did. Controlled it from the, what was it, lap 5?
Lap 6, I think it was. Yeah, let's have a look at it.
Yeah, and like I said, he had a good look at Joel. Joel's really nice in that situation. He's looked that, he's realised that we've completely destroyed the group behind. It's going to be between me and you. I thought he'd sat behind Joel a little bit longer at this point, but it just showed his confidence that he thought, well, I don't really see Joel as a threat. I think I'll just be able to run my own pace and be consistent at that, and that's what he was able to do.
Joel looked like he was a threat in the first sector of the lap, but clearly Jose Antonio knew exactly what he had in the can, and maybe he was only giving 90% there as well.
It looked a bit like that, didn't it,
yeah.
really? At the end, you saw the last lap times. I mean, he could stay consistent, and Joel just didn't have anything for him. Didn't have anything for the fight at the end, which was a shame.
It's a bit disappointing, really, isn't it? Because you're in Australia, and you know it felt like it was his best chance, Joel Kelso. But you know he is competing against this extraordinary rider who has just been fantastic all season.
Yeah, that's the reality. If you look back at the race, you'd go, if you could describe a race that would work the best for Joel, that was exactly how it was going to be. The fact that they got away and then your rival led, that meant you got slipstream around the track. You got to look at your rival. It was like a dream to start a last lap half a second behind your rival. That's what you literally you dream about for your home race.
Yeah.
But then he had nothing for him.
And 4 laps to go. If he'd have gone earlier, would that?
It'd have been worth a try, really, because at the end on the last lap, he didn't...
Is that hindsight, though, that's saying
yeah,
that?
and it's all part of the learning curve, isn't it? That's what you do. You look back and you analyse, and there's only you knows. I've always said this with our sport. When you go to bed at night and you close your eyes and you're not lying to anyone, talking to press, you know deep down what you did, how hard you pushed, and what the truth is.
Yeah, well, not to be today for the victory, but a great ride all the same, and Alvaro Carpe as well, keeping everybody else away. He's heading on to the podium. Let's go and celebrate.
Yeah, and you can see as they step up onto the podium, can't you? I know you guys down there in pit lane, but just for people at home, look at the flags still blowing, still a tailwind, and despite all that, Rueda manages the conditions to absolute perfection. So the Red Bull KTM IO team celebrate with their Constructors' Trophy. They win the Teams World Championship 2 with their 1 and 3 today. Good to see Carpe back. Had a tough few weeks, tough few races, but it's important now to get back in the groove towards the end of this season, to take that form into next year. Let's hope Joel Kelso can do similar. Second place here today, so his mum down underneath the podium, celebrating with him here at home. Another Australian podium for him. Not to be the win, though, today. That honour belongs to the 2025 Moto3 World Champion, Jose Antonio Rueda. 10th victory of the season for the Spaniard.
The world champion there, Jose Antonio, proving why he wears the crown. And Joel Kelso, just not quite enough today to nail his first victory. And what a strong ride it was for Alvaro Carpe. Alvaro FM keeping the rest of the field at bay. Well, that's it for the moment here at the island as they celebrate on the podium. We'll take a little break. When we come back, it'll be time for Moto2.
Right, so that's the end for Moto3. Thank you for watching, and please join us very shortly in I think about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit earlier on air for us, I'm not sure. I think it might be like on time with being on air for the Moto2 race, which will be covered by Joshua. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.